take the key card. There we go. All right, let's head out.
So you're still driving, man.
Still driving. Once we're on Hansen, I'll engage in the feature.
Is it a single stock press or double stock press?
It's a double stock pull, so same as the usual mechanism to engage.
Yeah, I would not. So the way we're not really thinking about like what the final UX will be, because we want to live with the feature. It may or may not change based on kind of on-road testing and kind of more qualitative feedback.
Okay, so now you're completely hands-free.
Yep. Just engage in the feature. So this is the vehicle driving right now.
Okay.
And this is fully learned. Like these behaviors are learned, so it's based on human driving samples.
Okay.
So you'll see like the driving will be like it's like speeds will change, lane position, like the position lane will change. We'll react to things like speed bumps, but it's all like, you know, it's all like a reflection of our like approach to build like really an end-to-end system, right? So sensor data in, no intermediate output. The intermediate outputs are used to display the driver display, but that's actually not what the car is driving off of. The car is actually driving off of a learned trajectory.
Have you trained it specifically on this route, or is it a bunch of other routes? And
this route and a bunch of other routes.
Okay.
So, this build is like we work with the city, so we're kind of locked to this route because the city knows we're doing it, and so we just make sure that we know like nothing that would like kind of like stop people from having a consistent experience. But this is not. This is a build that we continue to build after this day, right? This is like we wanted to make sure we picked a route that was like scenic and short enough that we could take a lot of people through, but something that wasn't just a dead end.
Okay, this is a left turn. We'll see if we can do a left turn. I'm sure it can now.
Oh, and the other thing is that if we ever do intervene, because of the way we tag data, though any interventions we actually upload to the cloud, we analyze individually to see like how we can improve, why the system made the decision it made, and make it better.
How many times do you have to run this route to train it?
You know, I don't know exactly the number route, but I will tell you we started working on it just a few months ago. So like we're making a ton of progress in the time that we had. We had a pre-trained model from Gen 2.
Okay.
So you build a model that understands lanes and cars. That's actually a good starting point for like, hey, can output trajectories and drive the car. And so, this is the result of that.
And what are you using for your development ID? Are you using like a NVIDIA Drive, or is it all in-house?
So we actually have you can hear about this in our infrastructure talk, but actually there's a lot of abstraction. So we actually have like a lot of independence from the underlying silicon. So this is these are Orin chips, and they were on DriveOS. But actually, we're not dependent on DriveOS. You'll learn more about that tomorrow.
Okay.
It's just like DriveOS is pretty low level, right? It's just like whatever you need to be able to run applications on the hardware. But we actually have everything in an abstraction layer, so we can not just run applications on different types of hardware. We can run the same applications in the cloud. So when we do simulation, like large scale simulation, we can run the perception stack in a data center.
Are you primarily using simulation, or are you using a mix of simulation and real world? Like what's the split on how much you're using to train? Are you using mostly like is it 75-25? What's the split?
So open loop, closed loop, I don't really know. So first of all, second of all, it's like it's not the reason we are mostly doing real world because that's the data we have. It's a huge advantage. Like you don't run into the same issues with simulation. So like if you do like closed loop, like pure like kind of video game sim, you run into more issues where like you don't have the verisimilitude of like the real world. So you might train a model and it overfits to like what the video game sim outputs. And so when you'll hear more about you'll see that we slowed down.
Yeah, I'm recording that you slowed down for that speed bump. That was pretty cool.
You actually do want the real world data. It's way more valuable. It's way more realistic. When you're training end to end, you actually don't know what information is valuable to the model, right? So like if you try to do like a video game sim, that actually to the model might be just totally incomprehensible, right? You don't know, simulating sensor inputs is not really the way to go if you have a customer fleet that's as large as ours that can upload data based on what the cars observe on the edge and build data sets. So like, for instance, if we want to like improve behavior in tunnels, we say, hey, be on the lookout for tunnels. And the cars will like just upload samples of tunnel driving.
Are you collecting that from customer data, or are you collecting that from your fleet, or where are you collecting that data?
Customer data. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I've been posting that I've been seeing a massive uptick in the last 2 months
Yeah.
of data upload from my car
Yeah.
to the cloud.
Yep.
Like I drove for 6 hours this past weekend. It uploaded 36 gigs.
Yeah. You must have had a very interesting drive.
That's so I'm trying to figure out what the trigger is. Why like I get massive amounts of uploads and others may get a gig or none.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know, like on a car by car basis, like what you've seen. But also because we do a lot to strip data from the uploads. I wouldn't even be able to tell you like if like what came from your car and why it's interesting. But what's more important is that data is either put into a discovery set, which is kind of generic driving to improve the system overall, or a particular data set where like tight turns. So for instance, to train this model, we actually did a tight turn data set. So every Rivian doing tight turns all over the US and Canada, we created data sets so we could evaluate this model and see how it handled them.
Okay. When do customers get access to this kind of capability?
So when it's ready is the short answer, but we want to get it as soon as
ID
possible.
ID software, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
But we don't want to. Yeah, we're it's not. We're not launching a video game. Right? It's not Daikatana, right?
Yeah.
But what you'll see is like actually this large driving model that we used to build the system. These behaviors will show up in more and more features, including enhanced highway assist, and so we don't have infinite time, right?
Okay.
We're going to build a point-to-point system that is viable to people, and then when it's valuable and safe, we will ship it, and then we'll continue to improve it every month.
I wish I could get more of this into my shot, but it's doing really well. It's smooth. I'm not seeing any intervention steps so far, but this is a closed loop, kind of.
Yeah.
Closed loop's the wrong way to say it, 'cause that's one of your software terms.
Yeah, so closed loop means that, like, you instead of just replaying data, you're trying to move things around. And I think we do have closed loop sim to test things like the motion planner, but like here, the motion planner has a much more reduced role because the car is actually outputting trajectories. Just like a LLM outputs language, we're outputting like sequences of trajectories with like basically LLM technology.
Where are you training all this? Is it all in AWS? Or are you also using some H200s, or what's the training?
Well, I don't know if that's a trade-off, right? Because AWS has H200s. We're training. I think the honestly, I don't think about it very much. We're training on the compute that we can get our hands on, and we have a lot of stuff in place to secure that. Green light, friend.
Yeah, this guy's doing something. It's just a bad driver.
Take over and override here.
Yep.
Cross that intersection.
Yeah, that was a bad driver.
We'll re-engage.
Not sure what that dude was doing.
So I think that the other thing you'll hear about tomorrow is like how efficient we are. So a lot of the stuff that has been created to like make LLMs, train LLMs at a much lower cost than previously thought, we can apply directly in this work, and we have.
Is this still the loop, or are we're gonna
We're
go
still
back?
in loop. Yeah.
Okay.
We're still in loop. We're good.
We had one manual intervention due to a bad driver.
Yeah.
That's when you start. That's how you know you made it. You get people talking about your intervention numbers and
Yeah,
how
I
many
think
interventions per mile and all that crap.
If we had a system, we'll launch this as an L2 system. We would, if like someone took over, and that would not necessarily be a release blocker, right? We'd like kind of evaluate.
And this is beautiful. That's what I should know. I should have done like this. It's really beautiful out here.
Yeah. Yeah, we just passed by a building where like that's where Steve Jobs went and discovered like you can use a mouse and have windows.
Yeah.
So
Over Xerox?
Yeah, Xerox Park. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get a chance to watch Pirates of Silicon Valley. It's an old movie.
Oh, I've seen it many times. Noah
Same.
Wiley as Steve Jobs.
Yes. Yeah, so good.
Dude, we're all nerds. Huge nerds. We get it. Yeah, my background's more in like software, and finally I loved cars, and finally cars got enough like computers that I could find gainful employment.
That's exactly where I'm at too.
Yeah.
But I can't get employed in cars for some reason.
You've got an interesting gig though.
I want to run this loop again.
Yeah. Got limited space.
I'll sit in the trunk.
Yeah.
Strap me to the roof
There's
rails.
no seatbelts there.
Strap me to the roof rails.
Yeah.
That was fun. I figured out I could zoom out on my phone at the last second. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. It doesn't appear to want to do a right on red, though.
Yeah, we actually initially did. And we were just like, you know what? We want to start with baseline super boring driving. And so super boring driving right now is like, stay on red.
I would be honking at you. I know the car doesn't get mad, but
Yeah.
I absolutely would be mad. Now it's green. Is it going to go?
Gonna tap the accelerator pedal to override there, make the turn.
Normally it goes.
But yeah, definitely for this intersection, even for a human driver, it can be pretty challenging, especially with traffic here.
It's got a
It's
curvature
50
to
miles per hour.
yeah, it's got a curvature.
That blind corner.
Yeah, it's really blind there. I can see that. So do you have any R2s in your in your toolbox of sensor gathering, mileage gathering cars, and you're doing extra stuff for R2? What's R2 look like with this running on it?
We're doing a lot of development with R2. So a lot of the integration testing that our team's supporting with both hardware, software.
Mm-hmm.
We have a combination of both development assets for R2 to develop the features for customers, as well as we're building out a fleet of R2 data collect vehicles with the intention of collecting data to train the fleet.
Do you expect this? I know you didn't give me a timeline, but do you expect this to come to R2 shortly after launch, or is there like a timeline or goal of when
we want to ship everything at the same time across all platforms?
Okay.
That support it, right? So anything Gen 2, this is a targeted Gen 2 feature. So anything Gen 2 and beyond, we want to ship. We want to make this available to folks, right?
Okay. What will this vehicle not be able to do compared to R2?
I think I think we'll know when we get there. We haven't hit the headroom on Gen 2 yet, so I think you can imagine with R2 on certain configurations of hardware, you may get like more like increasing like tolerance for eyes-off use cases.
Okay.
So higher levels of autonomy, but point-to-point for sure is within our roadmap for Gen 2.
You heard it there, people. I was wrong on that. I thought for sure this thing was not going to be able to do everything point to point, but it is.
Yeah,
it is. It does really well, even with the two interventions.
I mean, and it'll do even better. Like this is super early. Like I mean, we've been working on this for months. It's taken others like years or never to kind of get to this point. So,
how large of a team do you guys have working on this?
Big enough to do big things, but like small enough to be nimble.
Okay.
Where everyone we have we're pretty precious about making sure we have great folks that are really good at problem solving. Honestly,
the biggest challenge I have with full self driving is honestly roundabouts.
Yeah.
Because roundabouts come in a million different flavors, right? So you have just a standard 4-point. I have a 5-point roundabout I go through. I have a 5-point that's got two lanes going into each of the 5 points.
Yep.
And so, like, how do you handle that? And I will be very interested to see how you guys train on that, because that seems like it's a impossible thing. And then they also have like street signs, right? The speed hump. Obviously, you can see that with the cameras, but like, what about school zone? So school zone ahead, right? So you have a school zone coming up, or it looks like a crosswalk or something, right? Yeah. And the school zones often will have flashing lights. Yep. They'll have set time frames, say like 3:30 to 4:30. This is the speed limit. Do you see that as being like some of your hardest challenges? And so I have a lot of kids. School buses always come up when I'm on full self driving, and the vehicle never, just until recently, didn't know how to handle it. Yeah. So, do you think you can train on a big yellow vehicle with a stop arm sticking out of it? Or
I think we have. So I think when you think about autonomous vehicles and like their capabilities, I think you can broadly kind of bucket their kind of malfunctions in two areas. Like, one is behaviors. Did the car not know what to do, even though it could see all it needed to be able to see to do the thing? And the other is detections. Like, can the car even see the thing, you can't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
Other than maybe pull over, right? So I think that our approach is the most comprehensive long term. Obviously, we're early on, but we're trying to solve for both, like having great behaviors, right? Which includes like how do you handle a roundabout, and making sure that even our customer fleet, where we can't just send, our fleet's pretty small, right? Our ground truth, like high sensor fleets, like, a few dozen cars, right? And you're covering millions of miles. You really need to up level the customer fleet so that they can do more. So getting better detections of like the environment and getting better behaviors is really the two things you really need. And I think we've got the honestly, from my perspective, I think we're really well positioned here.
Okay. I noticed it's not rendering the cones and stuff.
But it doesn't matter. It sees the cones, but it's not rendering them because we didn't tie it to the HMI, right?
Okay.
So when you think about this end-to-end model, like these pictures are not what the car is driving off. The car is driving off raw sensor input.
Yep.
And because we did label cones, the car it's pre-trained. It understands cones. We just didn't plug it through to the human
Display it.
interface.
Yeah. You got to cell shade it, make it look pretty.
Yeah, we have like I think a really healthy kind of discussion with the design team all the time, and that's under Jeff. Jeff is a design master, right? So having folks like who are not only designing the exterior of the car, but also the same team that's designing the HMI, like gives you a lot of like freedom to have like the A team working on all of it, right? So
can I put a request in that would be absolutely hilarious? Can you make it on the HMI display Rivians? Like when it sees a Rivian, it tags a Rivian, display a Rivian. So like on these cars will zip and cross and back. If it sees a Rivian, display a Rivian to cell shade it.
Yeah. So another person made that request. His initials are RJS. So, we are definitely looking into it.
I'll tell him that. Because the reason I say that is because Tesla was supposed to have it like 5 years ago. It never happened. If you guys just drop it on like day one, it comes out, it's got Rivian detection, people's heads would explode. It'd be the funniest thing. It'd be a mic drop moment, to be honest.
We like that. We love the mic drop moment. So yeah, I will definitely run up the flagpole. But feel free, if you were to RJ, to say like, I think this would be awesome.
I will tell him. It clearly has all of the cars in the display of how to render a different Rivian. Like I have a California Dune R1T, and it displays it just great right there. So if it saw a California Dune R1T, it should display it on the display there.
Yeah. No, we're definitely thinking about how to do that. It's active discussion. Where do you live?
I'm in Indianapolis. Okay. Yeah.
Nice. I went to Ohio State,
so
you crushed us.
I'm sorry about that.
You're not that sorry.
I'm not sorry.
My joke is always like I went to the number one university in football. But I watch a lot of game film, and it helps. Like it's just good to know what people are saying about our stuff, right? We really appreciate you coming out here.
See, you need to like have like a wave to other drivers when you're in self-driving, because like I think Tesla drivers like wave two hands like this.
Do they?
Yeah, I think that was the thing. At least at one point, to indicate you're in a self-driving mode. We need like a Rivian one.
Yeah. Like Kyle and I are both thinking about homologation requirements and like what are we allowed to do with the lights. Actually, not a lot, but yes, having it's like kind of bittersweet. We have so many Rivians now, like on the road.
Yeah. That
like no one really like gives you a nod anymore.
Yes.
But, like back in the day, it was like everyone was so excited to see a Rivian.
I still wave. I do have one more request. Yeah. Under updates, can you make it show what version of the autonomy you're on? Like it just says it's up to date all the time, and like. Okay, it's up to date, but like...
Yeah, I think that's... So one, I think we need to name that a little differently, because that's like... so that's historically been the HD map data. So it's actually not the autonomy software, it's the data, like HD map or any kind of like mapping that is useful for autonomy that's in that thing, and it's not... Yeah, it's kind of it's something we should think about.
Yeah,
because people that doesn't update as often, so people think that our autonomy is not updated often, but it's actually updated with the software releases.
Yep.
The platform data is more like where are the construction zones, right?
So the Tesla FSD people are able to compare how their results are across version numbers, right? So FSD v14 dot blah 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 blah, right? And so Rivian people don't really know how to compare other than, hey, I've got the latest version and it's better than the last.
We have to share or tell people to share Git hash, and they're like, what is that? So,
Yeah.
I agree.
I think if you had a version 2, and you'd also be able to get people posting their stuff online, get more visibility of your products and your version of self-driving, and say, okay, because you're gonna have regressions too, right?
Yeah, we will have. I mean, it's software.
It's how software works. You're gonna have regression. You'll be like, oh, we didn't. Why is it doing that now? It never did that before.
Yeah.
Right. It handled this speed bump before, and now it does not. Right. And so having those version numbers in there would be very helpful.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's really cool is we have this thing called apprentice mode. So actually, every Rivian is running like a future version of the autonomy at the same time. It's just not connected to the actuation.
Okay. So it's like Ghost or whatever you call it.
Like, yeah.
Shadow mode. Yeah.
We're calling it apprentice because shadow seems
Okay.
scary.
So Rivian calls it apprentice instead of shadow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just the idea is that then we can measure like when things are different on road, right? Because that's another way for the fleet to be smart enough to know what to tag, what to upload. So like, hey, this is a deviation. And then we can actually like examine this at scale. So
Yep. Looks like it's turning back in. You have disengage?
Disengage. And,
Okay. We are back. Well, thank you so much for your interview. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Got a lot of questions answered and more me being wrong about stuff, but that's fine. I'm glad to be wrong, and my car can do this stuff. That's gonna be really cool.
When I joined this place, I was wrong about everything.
How do I join the test fleet of this so I can do this on a daily basis?
So I think we are looking at like what a beta like a larger beta will look like, but we don't have anything to share there.
Yeah.
Because we just literally us like thinking about like, wow.
Yeah, I'm getting a hard time. It's cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.